you are the co-host, right? You can also admit the person, right? So
Yeah.
let's do that. Yeah. Oh, where is it? Yes. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another chat and learn session. So we have Prakash with us here, who is the DevRel at DevPost, and he'll talk about why hackathons. So we have a flagship hackathon coming up tomorrow. So many of you had numerous doubts regarding what are hackathons. I'm a first time hacker. What should I know before I commit to this 24-hour barrage of coding and networking? What should I know? There were so many questions around it. So we have listened to all of your questions, and we have come up with a session where we will answer all of your questions. So having said that, and before we move to the meaty part of the session, let me, take you through some basic housekeeping. So whether you are watching it live, or, you're watching the recording, or you're watching it through live on our site, these are some things you should definitely keep in mind. One, this is an engaging session, so it's supposed to have some engagement. So if you have any questions, you can definitely put them up in the chat window on the website, or if you're watching it live, you can put it on the chat room in the Zoom. If you're watching the recording, and if you still have any questions, our Discord rooms are always open. Join the Hackathon Discord and, ask those questions live on the Discord, and, we will be so happy to answer. And did it even happen if it wasn't on social? So please try to tag at the rate PowertoFly on all our social handles. So having said that, and moving over the boring parts, let's welcome Prakash. Hello, Prakash. How are you doing today? And tell us a
Hey,
bit more
Sanmay.
about yourself.
I am doing great and lovely to be here. It's always lovely to be in your cadence. And so it's a hackathon, and we are on a position where I have to tell why hackathons. Why really we have to do hackathons? Is there a reason that we have to do hackathons? So I'm here to tell you all guys about that, like why we even participating in a hackathon. So yeah, upon that, and I have like as the last minute engineer I have prepared some set of slides for everyone to go through, and then I would be explaining that how could you make the best out of this hackathon.
So, before we move forward to, your slides and everything, so can you please tell me or go upon the memory lane to talk about, how your first hackathon was, and, how did you know about that, an event like hackathon exists, and, what was your first hackathon experience like? Tell us more about
So
that.
it translates to me understanding. So I was a kind of student who used to think that like you go to place and you need to learn, and there is always a conventional way to learn things, and like you need to have a book, you need to have this, you need to have that, and then you learn things. But my first hackathon experience was in my college. Not exactly it happened in my college, it happened somewhere else, and the organizing team was from my college. So that was my first hackathon experience. And then I saw people coming in, building things, doing things, and actually learning in the way. So it was something which actually made me understand that learning could be unconventional. It doesn't needs to be a very organized plethora of books and things you need to follow. Learning is something which you get in the process. It's not something you really want to be like. If you really want to learn, you just need to trust the process you're in, and hackathons is one of the way. And I worked in hackathon companies. So Scalenza is a hackathon company. DevPost is a hackathon company. So I've around seen around I don't know 200 plus hackathons in my life.
Wow.
So yeah, so that has been like the hackathon journey for me. And believe me, I started as a community manager, and when I saw the immense value in creating software, and when I saw that how much of art you could do with your code, I started making code, and I started doing things with myself, and I didn't follow anything very conventional. And believe me, I found that what I'm really good at through hackathons itself. So yeah, it's a lovely journey.
That's so great to hear. And, I believe we it was a hackathon, where we met. We met initially at hackathon. It was Hackathons India where we met, and it's a friendship that has transpired multiple hackathons till date, and multiple other things apart from hackathons as well. So yeah. So can't wait to see take a look at everything that you're prepared for us. So please take us away.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sanmay. And you have been a great inspiration in all of this. Like you have really motivated me through that hackathon itself, from that hackathon experience till here in my journey of either call it software, either call it community. You have helped me through it. So yeah, this is how beautiful hackathons are. It brings people together who just like the same thing. See, now coming on to what we have today. Today, why hackathons? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to ask you like if you would be able to see my screen. Uh, okay. So I'm not so core believer of like presentations, but I really like to draw and I really like to tell things. And why hackathons? Like, why are you here? Why are you even here? Like, why are you watching this video? Why are you in this session? Why do you want to know about hackathons? Like, exactly why? Because we are living in this Gen Z day where we have started questioning everything from existence to why there is cherry on my Sunday. So, like, we need to know things, right? Like, we are so curious about things and we are so curious about what the outcome is going to be of I'm doing this today. So, I'm here to tell you about that. Okay. So, I'm a kind of cinephile and I would really want your help with this uh, what these things are. Do you happen to know who these guys are? Like anyone? Like, send me out to be the bearer of this as well. Like, I guess happen to know who these guys are. Do you know who these guys are? I guess most of you know. So these are the people. Like, they were out there. They were out there to rob a bank, right? Their job was to rob a bank, and that was a big job to do. And like it was a big project to actually execute, right? And they were a team, and they were out there, and they know what their plan was, and they know how to do it. They use different tools. So you kind of relate to things what these people were. And now there is one more thing. So hey, this is for old people if they know. So there is this movie called Oceans, right? Oceans 11, 12, and 13. And these were the team which were there, and they were building something to get something out of somewhere, right? That was their goal. They had a goal in their head that what we really want and what we really want as an output from what I do. So today, if you're taking part in a hackathon, you really need to define what output you're looking at. Okay, you're here to win. We get that. But with what tools and how and what exactly should be the steps followed through it. So first you need to define what the goal is. For these people, for these teams, these two teams, what we saw, their goal was simple. For team number one was get to the La Casa de Papel, the Bank of Spain, or things like that. They had to rob that. And for team number two, they were behind a casino, right? So team number one wanted to rob La Casa de Papel, and team number two wanted to rob the casino, right? They had their goals defined. So whenever you're in a hackathon and you find yourself in a hackathon, you need to define your goals. You need to define what you really are and what you're really up for. I don't know. I guess how many participants are. So is this going to be your first hackathon? Say yes or no. Okay. Yes. I, I see
Yes.
people saying yes. Okay. Oh, so everybody has their first hackathon. Okay. Nice. Nice. So so you are at your first hackathon. So you have just joined in. You are in this uh, you are in this post-COVID world. and I don't know, the some of pre-COVID has started again. So yeah, you're in this post-COVID world. You know that there is a hackathon happening. You registered for it, and now what? Now exactly what do I have to do? Like, how do I create things? How do I start with things? How do I even get from zero to one? Right. So the example I gave, like, so the point here is that you're a noob, okay, and you don't know how to start the thing. So the first thing you need to do is team up. Either team up with people who don't know what they're exactly doing, or either team up with people who has more experience than you. Right? That is the first approach you should always apply. Because if you are in there, if you want to build alone, either you need to be very pro at things, or either you have that appetite to learn and build in the same amount of time. So believe me, so if you think that if you have X amount of time, actually you have X by 4 amount of time to actually build. So that's what minimum hackathon logic is. Because, and believe me, how much the way we see time is completely different when it's about the hackathon, because the building time really requires many different stuff. It will make you go through the whole SDLC and you wouldn't even know. So just try to think that you have very less time, and try to. So the first step should be that you guys should team up. Try to team up, and don't underestimate where you need to brainstorm your ideas. So I have seen hackathons. So 200 hackathons is an experience, honestly. Call it Indian life hackathons, hybrid hackathons, online hackathons which are like there, not there, very good hackathons, very bad hackathons, mid-level hackathons. The problem with people is they start to code once the hackathon gets started, and they don't plan their code. They don't plan what their ideas are. That's the biggest problem whenever you're doing a hackathon. That's the biggest problem when you started doing a hackathon. Because if you don't know, if you have not ideated, you are just building it. You're just building it through like whatever you are thinking. You would fail to do it in that particular amount of time. Always understand that the projects I have seen. So what happens? You at the start of the hackathon, you would think that you're Tony Stark. You can do anything you want. You can just code the shit out of anything. But when it gets to the end of the hackathon, people start to get a bit. I would say they get hopeless in that time. So yeah. So you don't need to do that. You need to plan what you need to do and in how much time you're going to do it. You need to define the timing for it. For example, uh, give me your names. Come on, give me your names. I need to create a team right now. So I will be creating a team, and uh, let's create a team. Okay. So my team has 4 people. Okay. So my team has Abdul, CP, Ashok, and Riddhi. Okay, 3 people. I have 3 people in my team right now, and how do I define what needs to be done by a team? So you need to define who needs to do what at in that amount of time. Okay. So Abdul, you are taking care of the front end. You need to make sure that you know the React libraries, and you're going to take care of the front end. Ashok and CP are taking care of the back end. Riddhi is taking care of how we are going to connect both of these, how if there is some of DevOps required, or like if the problem statement has some kind of. So you need to delegate and divide things. That's how team efforts has been decided. So you don't need to develop everything alone, or everything shouldn't be delegated to a point that no, and you need to do constant check on it too. So this is how you start. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is create a team. Just create a small team. Second, you need to delegate who's doing what and in X amount of desired time. So that's something. Now, if you are a pro, then what? What happens if you're a pro? So if you're a pro, like you have to show people the ropes of how to really do it. Some people like wouldn't even know that what Git is, how would be they creating a repository, how would be taking their first PR, how would they be doing that? Like they really don't know. But you need to show them the ropes. And if you show them the ropes, believe me, it really helps you as a developer. It really helps you to know that what needs to be built out and how it needs to be built out. So make sure that you show them. And point number two, you need to plan. So the planning is a very crucial stage, and people generally don't get it, that why it is so important to plan. So make sure that you plan like every niche detail of the project or the problem statement you're tackling. Then define if so first definition of the problem statement. Now what we're going to do is open OneNote and let me show you guys how we're going to do this. Okay, so this is going to be a primer for you, what to generally do in hackathons and how to do in hackathons. Okay, so this primer could be really helpful for you. So the first step you're going to take. Okay, so the first step you're going to take is team up. Team up with whom? Team up with an experienced coder. That is something which is very much suggested. But if you don't, and if you're all like starting up and so team up and delegate. So over here, the experienced coder, if there is an experienced coder in your group, he would do the heavy lifting. And you have to learn from this heavy lifting, and you have to make sure how you are going to contribute in what this experienced coder has been doing, who it can be. If everybody is learning, you need to delegate X, Y, and Z. Call it front end, back end, pitch, plus demo. So who's doing front end in how much amount of time? Define the time for it. This is how you plan. This is how you really plan how to create a software in an amount of time. And give this time, and this can be only done once you have done this. Okay. So you need to define how you're teaming up, and you need to define how you're delegating. The second step of delegation is super important. Why it's super important? Delegation is basically like, okay, this X person is doing this Y person is doing this Z person is doing this. Now you need to connect things, and you need to make sure that you are constantly asking for loops and feedbacks to make sure that whatever else is building. Like for example, if this person knows how to use Git, make sure that you give him the right number, like your repository is pretty up to date or with the things you have been doing right now. The person knows JS and is moving to React. Just just know that what components they have built in that amount of time and would they be able to complete. So you have to make sure, you have to be act like a startup. You have to act so fast, and you have to be very crude when you are developing this. And in all this, you have to enjoy as well, learn as well. But this is how you act up, and this is how you understand. So mostly what happens in hackathons are people think that the project they have created is very important, and everybody's gonna get to the niche of the code and then understand. So believe me, that isn't how you win hackathons. So 30% it's about the project, 30% it's the project, 50% is, you know what the 50% is how you present and how you demo. So this is the code you have written. This is how you present. This is how you demo. And the 20% is the tech stack. The tech stack you have used, the problem statement you're tackling, plus the technology stack you have used from these sponsors. Now, all this, why all this? Because you need to understand what is the concept. You're learning the concept, you know. But if you really want to win a hackathon, or if you really want to know that how to win a hackathon, you need to take things to the origin. Okay, why this hackathon is happening? So there is a technology called AWS, then and they are doing this hackathon. So you need to use AWS. That's why the hackathon is happening, and that's how you can win. So basically, like I'm not erasing this. Let's move down. So if you need to, like, you need to find the origin of the hackathon. So for example, if there is a service called AWS FortGrade, and AWS FortGrade needs to be used in your hackathon project. So you need to understand why they are doing this and how can you do it. So reach out to their mentors, reach out to the people and use their documentation and actually implement that in your code. The implementation is more important. Like this is the most important thing whenever you need to win a hackathon. How do you implement that specific technology and how do you tackle the problem statement? I hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to like relate to, guys. Are you able to follow, guys? What do you think? Are you able to follow? Yes or no? Use the chat. Okay, you're able to follow. So I take things in a way which would be easier for you. So moving on to the next part. Okay, so you know you're a pro and you know what you're doing. And see, I don't want to bore you with slides. I really want you to make sure that you learn throughout this process and how to do it at your first hackathon. Okay, so I hope you have understood what I'm trying to tell you till now. Now moving on to really get it. So you are here to learn. You're here to learn. You're here to know how to do a hackathon. So it doesn't really matter you win a prize or not, but you need to play with the technology. So if there is a specific library you want to use, play with it. Make something. You have to be innovative. Innovation should be your first priority whenever you are here in any hackathon. But you need to make sure that you're using that specific technologies which have been provided to you in the hackathon so that you could have some chance to win that hackathon. You're playing with the technology, you know, like for example, I have been given this remote and be like, okay, you can build anything on this remote, but I need to play with it, right? But I can't, like, it would be unfair for the hackathon if I just gave away this remote and I would say, okay, let's build on this phone. It'll be better if I build on this phone and I know how to use this phone to build on it, but it is unfair for the hackathon. So always remember that whenever you're in a hackathon, and even hackathon judges and mentors don't like that. So check the sponsor of the hackathon and what technology they want you to build up. Like exactly my point. So never ever forget to create a GitHub repository because that is your proof of work. Wherever you go, wherever you interview, people like us would be interviewing you. They would actually ask you from your GitHub repository, okay, you have built this, how you have built this, why did you build this, what was the idea behind this, why did you do this, and it gets easier for you in technical interviews. So make sure that you like create a GitHub repository, and the presentation and the demo should be a piece of art. You have to show art in that. You can't be like, okay, this is how I do my college projects, and this is how I have done in hackathon. So yeah, like it's the same thing. Okay, we don't care. We don't care. It's all about your creativity. It's how creative you are with your thing because you are showing your love for the technology out here. So you need to show that. You need to make sure that you have love of technology out there, and you kind of do it. Now, what you should do in your presentation and demo. Like I said, your presentation and demo are the most important thing for your hackathon, like what it should have. So why are you really building this? If you ask me why I am really building this or why I am really building something, so it's all about like, okay, so I got a problem statement. This was a problem statement, and I thought this is the most optimistic solution for this. This is going to be the most optimistic solution for this problem, and I'm going to build on it. What features should be highlighted? Okay, so you made something like you made You made a service in which you can go to any page and you can make that page dark and you can make that page white. So that's a key feature, right? That's the key feature how it's making things different. And it could be like it is a feature built on creating browser more user friendly, right? So you that is a feature that you need to be highlighted, that it can be used in any condition out there. It is very optimized. It's very low and things like that. Okay. So how different are you from the competitors? How different are you? Like people have built multiple things, right? So what is the most difference? Where is the exceptionalism? Either call it a VC pitch, either call it an angel pitch, either call it a hackathon pitch. All they want to see is exceptionalism in comparison to your other hackathon projects. So you need to show that, right? So can you show that? The next thing is, will this be a market fit product? What happens if I want to ship this product today? What will happen? You're a student, but guys, you live in 21st century, and you can just ship your product out there. You don't need to have a degree to ship your product. What happens, and what happens if you ever get funded? Think of that. And many of the hackathon projects do get funded. Just go out there, go on Google and search how many. Like Twitter was a hackathon project. Think of that. Like boom, it's something which really intrigued me. And mention what the target users are, mention how the target audience looks like, and go ahead with that. So if you have done all this, and if you have created all this, once again I'll stop my share. Now where do you fetch these things? Okay, so I'm going to give you a go around of how to choose hackathons for you and how could you really do it. So I'm going to open the top hackathon websites in the world, like something which are super famous. Okay, so just give me a second. I'm just opening. Should have opened it earlier. Okay. Huh. So I'm going to show you the top hackathon websites in the world and where you can actually fetch hackathons, and you can just be like, okay, this hackathon I'm going to do. Okay, so the first hackathon website, can you see my screen? I hope you can see. So first hackathon website is obviously DevForce because I work here. And DevForce is one of the top hackathon websites in the world, and you can just go and you can choose what you really want to. Should it be very beginner friendly? Should it be for social good? Should it be open ended, fintech, gaming? So I really like gaming hackathons. Like those are very super intriguing. I want to know what these are, and I'll just go ahead and be like, okay, I'm gonna find the best. I'm gonna find the best hackathon for me, and I can update my eligibility, and you can be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna choose this hackathon. So this is how this works, and this is very easy to really go and choose a hackathon and then build on it. So very simple thing to do. Like Web3 championship, just go ahead, and Web3 is like booming up right now. So you want to do like you want to choose a problem statement, go ahead, choose a problem statement and build on it. So it's that easy, right? So all you need to do is just click on join the hackathon. So you see that there is chain ID, you see that there is SFP and different kind of sponsors of this hackathon, and obviously you have Nervos. So go and do some research on their technology and then build on their technology. Then you will have much better chances of winning that hackathon in comparison to you are creating something. And you need to be innovative as well. Like being innovative is the first step. And second step is how good have you done your homework with all this stuff. The second one is Made in India, Devfolio. You can go check them out. Good hackathon website. The third one is last companies, Kenenza, they have this Amazon hackathon, Sambhav going on. So yeah, that's you can check this out. What you need to do, they are into Web3 now. Think of that. They're creating NFTs now, things like that. Hacker Earth is very famous in terms of doing it. I'm not logging in, and then you have Dev.2. So Dev.2 is doing their hackathons on their platform, and yeah, it's supremely amazing. And you can join this app right hackathon. One of like my friends are organizing this, so yeah, this is how you find hacker, and this is where you can actually see that the core of the hackathon lies is the hack experience. Is the hack experience. You're sitting at your home, you know how to code, now where to implement it? A hackathon. Hackathon should be the first thing because a company wants people to build on their framework, on their infrastructure, only when they see that you're experienced enough, or they would give you some junior role, and then you start with that, right? So this is how you start building your portfolio. This is how you start building. This is how you start playing in the nets, and then you play in the real field. So these hackathons are a part of very important nets for you. So make sure that you build something in these nets. Make sure that you're out there and you're building something every day and you're implementing in these hackathons. And if so, you guys are students, right? If I get you right, like are you students? Okay. So you guys are students. What year are you guys in? Like, could you tell me what year are you guys in? Feel free to use the keyboard. First year. Okay, you guys are super young. So you have all the planetary possibilities in the world to build, right? You need to do is just build. So so either you are in first year, either you are in second year, or either you are in third year. You got everything. The branch doesn't matter, believe me. Like you're electrical, mechanical, or anything. You want to code, you want to bring out things, and you are in a segment of doing. So see, I was a student who didn't know how to code till my third year. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Like all you need to do is build, and all you need to do is innovate. And these are the hackathon websites where you can go. And more than like where do I get this? Okay. Yes, Prakash, you raised your hand. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Bro, can you show again the hackathon websites?
I can just give you all the links there.
Yeah. Can you paste it in the comment box?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, bro.
Anything else you want to ask? Please ask me. Like, don't you have good questions? Like, we are writing our first hackathon. What should we focus on? What technology should we build on? Anything? You should ask more questions. Always ask questions because you are in a stage where you are learning, and I'm also at a stage where I am learning. But believe me, you need to ask questions. If you ask as many questions, it will be easy for you to actually build something, or it will be easy for you to innovate. So go ahead, ask me any question you want to ask with your best ability. Like think of something like what you really want to ask, because you're going to start your very first hackathon. So believe me, this is going to be a very important process for you all. How can we learn various programming language? So if you want to learn various programming language, first start with one language. Start with one language in the world. I started with Java. Nobody likes Java, but I like Java. And because it's all about the engineering concepts, not about the language. You can learn anything, but if I would really highly suggest what you should learn right now, go with JavaScript, go with Rust, go with Solidity. It's something which is coming in the world if you have, if you know. So yeah, go with these things. When you when I have attended my first hackathon, 2017.
That's so great, Prakash. Also, one of the kinds of question that we receive a lot in our Discord is basically, for people who are really new to coding and, they haven't had the chance to explore any programming languages or tech stacks yet. How can they, leverage these hackathons to fast track their learning experience?
Okay. So as I have already mentioned, I got one more question, Prakash. I will come to your question. So the very first question, how you could fast track your learning: go and build and break things. This is how you will learn. This is how you will learn. You want to create a React app? Just start making a React app. Don't like go with the go with the functionalities first. Learn how to make a function and all. Like read the documentation or go through a course or something. But after that, start doing that. Start implementing it, because you'll always be in a dilemma that okay, you know this thing, but you haven't applied it. So start applying what you have learned, and that's the fastest way to learn anything. So always there is a there is a famous saying whenever the Greeks wanted their children to learn to swim, they used to throw them in the sea, and they figured it out on their own. And so I'm not saying that you need to drown in it, but you need to make sure, try to figure it out on your own, because our education system has been defined in a way where we have been taught to how to conventionally teach everything, how to spoon feed every set of syllabus and every set of everything. We don't really explore that how to create a syllabus for ourselves, how to create a new learning curve and an arc for us. And what if I need a particular language for a part of hackathon and no one in my team knows that? What language do you need? Like, is that a front-end language? Do you need a front-end library? So I'll tell you top front-end libraries out there in the world right now. It's React, Vue, Next, and TypeScript. These are the top front-end libraries you need to know. Like if you know any one of these, you'll be very good. Like you'll know what you're doing. And like if you want to go with backend, you can go with Python, Django, Node, Dino. Like you can choose on your own. You need to choose on your own. And believe me, you choose anything in this world. You choose PHP. Go and make your code on PHP. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what language you are choosing. What matters is what logic you are writing and how you are solving the problem. It never matters what language you have chosen. Like make sure you solve that problem with that language, just that. And if your team doesn't know, learn and delegate. So the problem with people is either they don't delegate very well, they try to hustle everything they can do in that level of hackathon. And the problem, like one of the biggest problem I have seen, they take weights. Like if you go to a gym or if you go to anywhere, like they take more than their strength is. I would not go and lift a 50 kg dumbbell. My hands will not be able to, like, because my body has a capacity, right? So I need to understand my learning capacity for that 24-hour curve. So make sure that these 24 hours are pretty vital for you. So anything you are building, you need to finish it. That's it. Anything. You built a calculator. You did it, right? You finished it. So finishing a hackathon is very important. Submitting to a hackathon really actually counts that you took part in that hackathon. You can actually type it out on your resume that you have took part in that hackathon. But if you haven't submitted, it doesn't even matter. Like, so make sure that your journey is very important to you, right? Make sure your journey is very important to you. This is like, I'll take it very easily and light. You have to enjoy the process. Hackathons are made to be enjoyed. It's not something which is, oh, it's not a paper. it's not a competitive paper, right? It's how you enjoy with your friends out there. Drink your coffee, have some fun, and create good projects. That's it. That's how you learn. That's how easy it is. Anything you want to ask, guys, because believe me, even the companies, even the large conglomerates, even the high pay startup, everybody likes people who ask questions. Everybody likes people who ask questions. Nobody likes people like, okay, I have delivered something and you have absorbed it. You have to ask questions. I hope you should have great questions in your head, okay? Because I guess yes, what was the first project I started with? I can show you that. It's it's so shitty. It was so shitty. So, guys, have you played? So we used to have like it's not something I'm very proud of. So there are games which used to come on uh like the games which were cracked. And what we did, we tried to create a bot which used to track that this specific game has been cracked or not, and it used to send users the message that okay, this game has been cracked and now you can start downloading this game. So I create things like I'm creating something like I do my own personal projects and I create things through technology. So it's really how you really want to help yourself with technology. That's how you see things, and that's how you implement things in a technology. In my city, offline hackathons are not conducted. So should I travel for a hackathon? See, IRL hackathons are a good experience. Obviously, you're going to get value in that. But there are multiple online hackathons in the world which is happening. Take participate in that as well. PowertoFly is an online hackathon. You have not met Sanmay, you have not met me. We are sitting at our rooms and still we are doing a hackathon. So that's how you do how that's how you start with a hackathon. Like you don't need to be very consistent or you need to on coming into real life hackathon. Our city never had hackathons before. Like I live in Gurgaon and it had very less hackathons, honestly. But I participated in it, right? Because of my college, because of the people I know. And you meet great people in hackathons, believe me. I met this guy, but yeah, like you really meet good people in hackathons. Like it's a positive effect which you have on your own network. So networking is one of the most important thing you need to do in hackathon. Believe me, after you finish college, networking is going to help you really build your profile out there in the world. Networking really helps you career wise in like it helps you exponentially grow yourself. How many members required in a group? I guess four is the team size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, four is very optimistic. What is your opinion? Obviously, participate in Google Summer of Code. Like, it'll boost your profile to a next level. And I wasn't able to uh, participate in that, or I was not eligible to participate in that when I came to know about it. But it's a very good thing. You actually like get into open source, get into making open source uh, code out there and learn about open source because you would see first you will learn how to write code actually how code is written, like how to clean your code, how code like if they take your submissions, if they take your code, accept your code repositories, that's how you learn. That's how you'll learn. Yeah, go for it. Is only software based projects required or can we include some hardware also? Include hardware, man. Like it's so amazing if you can include hardware. Like if you can do IoT, if you can do robotics, if you can do mechanics on it, it would be state of art thing. I love that. I love that kind of profiles and projects where hackathons have actually applied engineering and they're doing things. So I was creating something for my door. I'll tell you, like whenever the door gets shut, the light should go down, and something not Google Home or something like that, something I build with Raspberry Pi. So try to do things and try to engineer what you can, and these are like state of the art. We love those things. So yeah, just go ahead and build it.
Absolutely. And if I remember correctly, the one of the projects that won our previous hackathon was a project based on Arduino, and it was a project aimed at saving water. So yeah, definitely. If you have any idea that involves software plus hardware, be our guest, and you're more than welcome to develop a solution based on that. All right. So folks, please go ahead and ask away your questions, and there are no staff in my college to guide us like this. We are here, and there's a huge online community, through hackathons, and there are multiple Slack communities, online communities as well, where you can go ahead and ask for questions and make LinkedIn your best friend. Go ahead and ask questions to folks like Prakash and I, and get in touch with them. So yeah, make use of the social media.
I'll drop my Twitter, and anything you guys want to ever ask. Don't ask me relationship advice. Anything else, I'll be happy to give you.
We have a logistical question from Rajaratna. Can we have 6 members? No, the maximum number members are capped at 4. So, we urge you to make 2 teams if you can. But yeah, for logistical reason, and, to ensure that everybody gets, optimum learning experience, we have capped the maximum team size to 4. And yeah, with that being said, we are kind of in the last stretch. This is the home run stretch. So Prakash, can you, impart us with some, what should I say, concluding nuggets of wisdom, if that's the word?
Sure. So I'll just give you a quick recap of what I have said and things you need to really follow in this. Prakash, Twitter is something where my DMs are open, so you can jump into that. I'll give you my LinkedIn as well.
Rajaratna asks, there is no age limit. No, there is no age limit, and there is no skill limit as well. So if you are a student or if you're a professional, be it whatever your age, as long as it's more than 18, you are most welcome to participate.
Okay, so we'll do a small recap. First, make sure you make a team. If you make a team, you have made a team. Second, you need to ideate everything. You need to know what you need to build, what the problem statement is, what you are building, what technology you're going to use, and in how much time you're going to do it. So make sure you know these things. Third thing, make sure your timeline is very precise. You are delivering what you thought of, and if you are not, you need to pivot to delivering fast, and always make sure that code is 30% and 50% is how you pitch, and 50% is how you demo what you have created. Like, that's very important, because you need to create a lean product. You don't need to create a fully functioning good architecture, and you don't need to do that. It should be functioning. If it's a 24-hour hackathon, it should be like a prototype, not a complete product. The third and the most important thing is, throughout, don't think you're an Iron Man. You're not Tony Stark. Believe me. You please don't take, like, this is the disclaimer I give to every hackathon participant who's first hackathon. Don't bite more than you can chew. Believe me, it's gonna hurt you in your career too. So make sure you meddle on things where you can actually make tangible solutions too. And believe me, you don't need to be like super fancy with things you are making. It should be functional, but functional to a point where you can explain what you have done. That's it. That's how you do a hackathon. And in all this, you have to enjoy. Now, enjoying is something which is not like necessarily you have to do it, but every part of this is very enjoyable. So make sure you enjoy this time.
Thank you so much, Prakash, for dropping all these nuggets of wisdom. And to all of our participants, our Discord is always open. And if you have any other questions which was not covered, or you couldn't ask it during the course of this session, feel free to ask it in the event questions channel. We are so excited to start the hackathon at 10 a.m. IST tomorrow. And, we'll be looking forward to see you there. So, and there we will have an opening ceremony where, we'll talk about all the hackathon rules, how you're supposed to make teams. If you haven't created a team yet, don't worry. We'll have a dedicated team building session where, we'll try to pair you up with other hackers. So yeah, looking forward to an exciting hackathon and one that's filled with a lot of learning. Once again, thank you so much, Prakash, for making this so energetic, exciting, and great learning experience as well. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, everyone.
Best of luck, guys. You got this.
See you at the hackathon.